that I'm showing you here is basically Trump has won and is going to win.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this.
What you just saw there is a recap of me explaining and breaking down the 2024 presidential election. I talked about how many electoral votes Donald Trump would get and what states he would win them in. I said it was a probability that he gets all the swing states, which would give him 312 electoral votes. My bet, if this was a bet for money. In fact, I told all my close friends he definitely would get all the swing states. I also said in the video that it's a guaranteed that he would get a minimum of 291 and between 306.
And or Michigan, one out of the two, but I believe a higher chance in Wisconsin. That right there gets him 291, just about 300.
I'm Mr. Rembrandt, and I published a book on political psychology, and I'm going to tell you why me getting the election and the Electoral College correct in the 2024 presidential election is important. But first, I'm going to point out these two things right now. I said according to my stats and my probability, Trump had a chance of winning all of the swing states, but probably may lose one or two, possibly by razor-thin margins. Listen, you can't lose track of what happened in 2020. So you can't be too optimistic about these things, no matter what the data said about this election. But it went exactly the way I predicted, meaning that he won all the swing states, like he was supposed to, according to my data. Listen, and if you think I'm lying, you can go look back at my video saying I can predict who will win the election. Don't take my word for it. I left the receipts up for everyone to watch. Here's the ironic thing. That video did not get crazy amount of views. I didn't have a crazy big audience either. But the amount of hate comments that I received in that video was pretty insane. Let's look back a couple weeks ago, the comments on that video when they came out. So here's one person saying, everyone who says that they know who will win is a complete liar. This guy has no clue about statistics. I said I know who would win. I wasn't being a liar, and I gave you the statistics and I won. So you're absolutely completely wrong. Next person, this person says, yeah, comma, no. Well, yeah, comma, yeah. Next comment, this person says, the part about the 6% theory cracked me up. If they would have brought this guy at MSG instead of the racist comedian, maybe it would have been much better for Republicans. So this guy is talking about the comedian who made a comment about Puerto Rico, which most people don't understand the comment. I'm not going to get into it, but my theory, mathematical theory about 6% was actually correct. Because in 2020, what I said was the popular vote had Biden up by 8%. He won the popular by 4. In 2016, Hillary was up 4% in the popular. She won it by 2. So what I said is, in order for the actual race to be close, because it's not going to be race, the data would have to show that the popular vote would be somewhere around 6%. And then that might lead a 3% popular win for Democrats, which would give the race electoral-wise very close. What wind up happening is the last polls aggregate before the election happened had Kamala up 1%, which is a 3% difference from 2016, and Trump wound up winning by 2%, which is 3% different from what the last polls election aggregator said. So all of my numbers were absolutely positively correct. It's not me who's crazy. Or funny, or cracking people up. I'm the one who's telling the truth. The joke's on you. Next, this person says, good luck with this fantasy. Wasn't a fantasy. What I said was true. Next, this person says Trump has pretty much given up on Michigan and may pull out of Wisconsin. I also thought if Trump was to lose any of the swing states, possibly it would be Michigan, but everything says that he was going to win, which he did. And this next person says, you have some twisted assumptions there, my friend, but it'll be interesting anyway. Well, the only interesting part was Trump winning, and my twisted assumptions seem to be correct. So the joke's on all of them. And here's the takeaway. Why would these people say this to me? With all of the data, all of the facts shown right there. Even if I was speaking to them in person while showing these facts to their face, would it mean anything? Well, no. Because like I've pointed out in my book, if you think something like facts and data alone is going to change somebody's mind, perish the thought, because it isn't true. Like I pointed out in my book, which is below in the link, people's perspectives, thoughts, and opinions of things aren't based upon objective facts. It's based upon a lot of factors and or characteristics that are simply revolve around aspects. The aspects these revolve around give them an emotional or motivated reasoning about a particular subject. I'm going to make it easy for you really quick. Here's a quick example. Let's say I'm a counselor teaching a group of disaffected individuals about interpersonal skills. And as a part of that speech, I inform the group that statistically, when it comes to one-sided assault in relationships, women actually assault men at drastically higher levels than men assault women. Well, undoubtedly, if there's a young lady in the group who has experienced domestic assault by a man, she's going to argue, dismiss, or get angry by my information. This is the number one answer in this situation that's going to occur as a response remark. Her remark would go something like this. Well, I'm a woman and I've been a victim of one-sided assaults by men, so what you're saying isn't true. So we would all, as human beings, sympathize with this woman. If this wasn't a hypothetical situation, of course, like this is, but an answer like this, no matter what, is obviously an anecdotal fallacy. Why? Because your personal experiences, your feelings, and your own situations in your life have nothing to do with generalized statistics and facts. And just because you're an anomaly to a fact doesn't mean the fact is wrong. So when people have any emotional feelings towards things, they ignore facts, they ignore data. And that is what happened with this. So do me a favor. If you are enjoying and finding value in this video, this content, please subscribe below to the channel. It really helps me with the algorithm. So why is this important? Here's the gist of it all that I'm going to point out to you. It's important for two reasons. It's important, one, because it's helpful to you as a person. Why? If a person doesn't point something out to you, you can't get better as a person. If someone's been telling you something all along with correct information and you have ignored it, that is a big problem for you as an individual. Like I've said explicitly in my book, what you tell others is important. What you tell yourself is everything, because what you choose to believe can be life or death. And if you're a person who goes through life believing all the wrong things, it can be detrimental to you and your success in your future. Especially if all along you've had certain people that you know are smart, that you know are helpful, that you know have your best interests at heart, and all you have done as an individual is ignore them. And you don't even know why you ignore them, is extremely bad for you and your well-being. Listen, the second reason why this is important, well, it's because I'm right and I was right. Like the other example that I gave earlier, people have a lot of emotional motivated reasoning. Well, what I have done over the years and what some people do, and it's obvious to see what those people are doing, is having trained their minds not to play tricks on them. Some people have trained their minds to not be affected or at very minimal rates of emotional or motivated reasoning. They have given their life to facts, data, reasoning, and logic. So when these people speak, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be right 100% of the time, but they are people that are probably going to be right 90+% of the time. And it takes some deep internalized growth as an individual for you to say, hey, I should probably put my emotions aside and listen to this person. When it comes to psychology, it might be Jordan Peterson. When it comes to investments, it might be Warren Buffett. And when it comes to cognitive decision-making skills, it might be Daniel Kahneman, which all of these individuals are pretty much idols of mine, heroes of mine. The only thing I wish I did do was, when it came to this election, PBD and Valuetainment had a little contest and they wanted you to fill out the map and send it in. And I started to do that, but I said to myself, hey, I know who's gonna win, but I'm 12 hours behind the submission. They have a large audience. Somebody's probably gonna submit it before me, so I'm not gonna get a chance on the show. But nevertheless, nobody has come on the show yet. It's been a week and I was correct and I have the receipts, so maybe they should bring me on. Nevertheless, we'll see what happens. But listen, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Stick around and check out some other videos that I have on my channel, such as my podcast episodes and other important informational and informative videos. My book is also down below in the description. And don't forget, I'm Mr. Rembrandt and this is Mr. Rembrandt. See you on the next video.